haka. But some of my memories are actually with my cousins. Like one photo that comes to mind is, I think, Terry, Michael, they're in the wharenui. And I know that was at a practice. Right. Chad. Some of them aren't as into it as we are. But I think, and also another memory that comes to me is, I think we had one, was it Wellington? There were 4 generations of our whānau on stage. Yep. And I just think, it's all of those things. I've always said it's in my blood. And as I was growing up, I always said kapa haka was my passion. But I think actually it's whānau was my passion, because that's where we connected. And as we've kind of moved on and got older and we're doing other mahi, every time we still come back, particularly at Christmas with Nan, we always sing. And it's always remembering the old waiata, or even the new ones actually, because Nan and Uncle Piri normally compose them over the years, so we'll get together and learn them. But I think kapa haka for me has been about kotahitanga, whanaungatanga, memories, so many memories, knowing that we were going to stand here today, good and bad, but mostly good.
For me, growing up being the youngest, ko te pōtiki o te whānau, I was really fortunate because I'd gone away as a teenager, and when I came back, Te Puru o Tāmaki had started to find its feet from late 89 through to 96. They'd hit their straps actually, and Mum had a really solid team around her with my tuakana, Piripi and Paura, Piriniha, and Pirimona, and of course our cousins, our kiri o ma whānau, our teila whānau. So it was, well, Mum was the lead. It was actually a whānau effort that brought us together. And I think Aunty Ruby saw that, and Aunty Anne saw that Mum was a weaver of people as well.
Speaking of the goods that Uncle Tama mentions, that Nan had, that could bring out of people. I remember as a young girl, Aunty Davis and I used to actually go to Nan's on a weekly for kapa haka lessons, like strictly kapa haka, to refine our skills in te ao kapa haka. So if we weren't practicing how to pukana, we were, had our poi, and together Kataraina and I would learn alongside Nan. And those are some pretty special moments. Yeah, a lot of my skills were just through running around at the noho, here on the papakainga, or wherever we had wānanga, the lessons with Nan. And then I got introduced to others in te ao kapa haka. If I remember correctly, at Kahurangi ki Maunga Whau, Te Hira, Painga and Maria Ngawati, they were our kapa haka tutors at the time. But fifth form was one of the years that I really held on to quite dearly, because that was the year that Kahurangi ki Maunga Whau, won Polyfest for the very first time, and that was a buzz in itself.
73 and 74, I think our first team was in the town hall. At the town hall, I think it was one of the first regional competitions they had in Tāmaki Makaurau.
Who were you standing for?
We were standing for Te Puru o Tāmaki. Our tutor at that time was Hemi Ropata.
Yep.
Ne?
Yep.
He came out, him and his wife came up and helped us out along with Mum and Dad. And most of the whānau in the Ropula in Te Puru o Tāmaki at that time were all whānau from around here in Orake, especially our Te Moana Street, kei Raro nei. It was awesome. As a young fellow, I think we were in the senior team at 14, and of course most of that team at that time in 1974 was made up of our generation. So we'd been through kapa haka for quite a long time, but not going to any competitions, maybe showing who we are. And Ngāti Whātua, we used to go out with our kaumātua and just support them in anything could do, you know, and we young fellas, we're just learning songs on the spot, sort of thing. So, and that was our kapa lessons, you know, from our kaumātua and our aunties and uncles of that generation. It was awesome.
We remember growing up on the street, and all our kapa haka group was mixed in with our Pacific Island relations as well, you know, so the tamariki whānau, they were pretty prominent around here. Uncle, geez, Aunty Bubs, all those kuia kaumātua o Tauawa, and we all sang English songs, Pacifica songs, Māori, and we got to know them all, and that's what we did. When we got to the 80s and we started to pau whakairo, pau whakairo was actually a way for us to fundraise.